Well, welcome back. We are busting into the ice season finally, and with that comes a lot of excitement. And honestly, one of the things I'm most excited about is all the new gear. I'm definitely a gear junkie, especially when it comes to ice fishing, because for whatever reason, ice fishing just seems to bring a ton of cool and unique gear. So today I'm going to talk you through my top 5 things that I am most excited for gear purposes for this ice season. And I'm going to jump right into the first one, which is this new camera by Aquaview. And one thing you'll notice, if I don't lose any products here, one thing you'll notice is it's a little bit smaller and it doesn't have a screen. And so since it doesn't have a screen, it has a very specific purpose. And essentially what this is used for is it's just the camera to be transmitted onto another screen. One of the big ones that I think a lot of people are going to use it for and like it for is using it in a wheelhouse. Obviously, it's a ton of fun to be able to go out and just relax in the wheelhouse, especially if you have a camera to put up on a TV. I know a lot of people are doing that with their live scopes, with everything. So this is the perfect unit for that because you don't have to worry about another screen. They have some really cool mounting options, a lot of different angles to have those screws on. Easy to mount, very light, and very mobile. So while wheelhouses might be one of the more popular uses for this camera, honestly, I'm excited for another reason, and that is because I can easily plug this into my live scope. Again, since it's HDMI compatible, there's a couple other plugins too, but that's the one that will probably be used the most is HDMI. I can use it for my live scope. You could use it for different Humminbird units as well. Anything that can take an HDMI capable unit. And that means I can just pretty much leave it on my live scope, leave it plugged in, and whenever I want to turn my camera on, I just turn on the power button and then I can switch to it on the live scope screen. So this is cool for a couple reasons. One, I don't have to bring out another screen, have another thing to mount. It's sitting right in front of me. It's on a nice big screen, nice bright screen. But the other thing is for me, specifically for filming purposes, it's gonna be so convenient to be able to already be recording my live scope, switch it over to the camera and be recording. I don't have to worry about another file to download. I don't have to worry about any of that. Already gonna be recording. And one of the hassles sometimes to using a camera is taking out more gear to drop it down. So this is kind of going to alleviate that. It's already going to be right there. I feel like I'm going to drop my camera down a lot more frequently this year simply because it's so convenient. So that is product number 1. I believe it's called the Aquaview Micro Revolution. Really cool unit. Definitely adapting for people's needs today as far as some of these units recording or maybe ice houses as well. So moving on to number 2. Number 2 is one that I actually don't have yet. I plan on getting it, but that is the Otter roll top table. You might have seen some of these advertised, but I'm really excited about this one because if you've ever been maybe camping in a house or even for a wheelhouse, it's really hard to find a nice portable table. They either seem to be too bulky or they're not sturdy. And this kind of seems to be a sweet spot in the middle of that where it's gonna be sturdy, but the biggest thing, it has that nice flat top. It's not like that fabric top that can kind of move and adjust as you're using it. This is gonna be nice, flat, sturdy, but it also folds up into a relatively small bag that's gonna be easy to carry out with you. And before I move on to the last 3, I did wanna mention, if you have suggestions, if you have things that I won't cover in this video, like I said, I'm a gear junkie. I always want to know what you guys are excited for. Drop those in the comments so I can check them out as well to see if there's new gear I want to add to my arsenal. But with that being said, I'm going to move on to number 3, and that is this one right here. I'll kind of lift it up for you to show you. This is, get that glare off, there we go, the Amped Outdoors Power Station. One of the trends you might have noticed recently is a lot of camping, whether it's ice camping, whether it's camping in a hub house, even in the summer, whatever it might be, portable power is huge right now. So I've been looking for a nice power station for a while here. There's a lot of kind of more gimmicky ones out there on Amazon, and some of those might be good, but I have a tough time trusting some of those just because I've heard some stories of how they make some of those batteries. So if you're looking into that, just be careful, do your homework on making sure you're getting good product. I've been running Amped Outdoors gear for a long time. Some of the best products out there and some of the best customer service out there. So I just really trust their products. And so this power station is something I'm very excited for to do a lot of ice camping this year. This is also gonna be something I can use to power, say, live streams or some of those things that I'd like to do a little bit more of this winter. And so I'll put some of the specs on the screen here, but essentially the best comparison that I got was it's kind of like a 12.8 volt, 100 amp hour battery power station. And so ton of different juice, ton of different applications, something that I'm gonna be using a lot. And the nice thing is, if you're not looking for maybe that much power, you want something a little bit smaller even yet, they have one, I think that's about half the size, half the power, if that's more suited for your applications. But for me, I want the most juice that I can possibly have with filming and some of those other pieces. And so I went with the biggest one. The other nice thing is it has multiple different charging options. It has solar, AC, DC, all of those different powering options. And even though it has a ton of juice, it is an incredibly fast charging unit. It can charge from depleted to full in like an hour, 20 minutes or something like that. Incredibly fast to charge up. So if you forget to charge it before your trip, you can do that very quickly. It's got a 1600 watt output, so that can power things like coffee maker, even up to a small microwave. So it's got a lot of output for that purpose as well. And you can see just a ton of different output options as far as plugins. It can go with like your regular plug-in, it can go to a USB. So like I said, I'm mostly looking forward to using it for ice camping, but I also can see purposes for it for some of our backcountry trips that we go on fishing, or I even brought out to deer camp. Some of those things, anytime you need power, I've actually heard of some people buying these and using them for their ice castles, for their wheelhouses. You know, it can be another power source. You don't have to have your generator, don't have to worry about gas. You know, it might not power some of those bigger ticket items in your wheelhouse, but it can power a lot of things within there. So I know some people, just for the ease and the efficiency, are using these for that as well. Moving on to the next one, and that is the long-awaited Arclab shuttle bag. I got a chance to look at this a little bit, put my live scope in it. It fits perfectly. It's obviously made for the live scope, but the thing that I really like is it seems incredibly durable. I fish a lot, fish hard, and I want my products to be safe, and I want my products to be durable. So this definitely seems durable. Got all the right pockets for the Arclab shuttle, whether it's for the handle or the cable cleat and back, or whatever it might be. It's got pockets. It was made specifically for it. It has that nice harder bottom to it, so it adds a little stability there, but just an incredibly durable. And I know a lot of people have been waiting a long time for those bags. And this one's not new for this year, but I did want to bring it up just because I really like them. That is these shelves from Arclab. This one is for the hub house. You can see it just sits right on the edges, on the poles there. They do have one for a flip over shack. Honestly, that's probably one I'm even more excited for because I fish out of my flip over a lot more. Haven't ordered that one yet, definitely need to get on that. But just, again, not new products for necessarily this year, but ones that I wanted to bring up because I really like them. And the last product that I am going, or products I should say, this one's a little more on the tackle side, and that is some of these tungsten spoons. Let's see if I can get it without glare there. Some of these tungsten spoons by Norfin. I'm really excited about these for a very specific reason, and that is for hole hopping. Obviously, tungsten is more dense than lead, so essentially I can have this size. This is about the same profile as a lot of the spoons that I use, but this is actually a 3/8 ounce. So it's very heavy. So when I'm hole hopping, I don't have to worry about clearing out slush. I don't have to worry about trying to break through that slush. It's gonna break through very easily without taking extra time, because when you're hole hopping, efficiency is key. So taking one little step out of that is going to be helpful. So with this, I can break through that slush very easily, but I will say you're gonna want the right rod and reel for this. Since it's a little bit heavier, some of your maybe medium light rods that you're gonna use through the ice might be a little bit light for this purpose. So the one that I'm using, again, I'm talking about hole hopping. This is the 42-inch medium. This is the Evolution series by Elliott. And I'm using that because I like having a little more length. Last winter was the first time I switched to using a rod this long. And I was a little bit skeptical right away because I've used a lot of shorter rods. But I tell you what, having that little extra length was very nice when fighting some of these fish, even some of the smaller fish. And so a perfect little hole hopping rod where you're not worried about being in the house and having less space. Perfect situation, and it being medium, it's good for this 3/8 ounce, a little bit heavier tungsten jigs. And I'm gonna use a 1,000 size reel. This is the Carbon X2 1000. You could go maybe up to a 2,000 size, but I find that this 1,000 tends to be about the right kind of balance and all of that for this setup. I wouldn't go down to like a 500 or anything smaller than that. 1,000 would probably be the smallest that I would use. But tungsten spoons by Northland, really looking forward to those for some hole hopping. With that being said, it is right on the cusp of ice fishing here. Not sure what my ice season is gonna look like because baby is literally coming any day. So who knows, might not even get this video out anytime super soon depending on when baby comes. But if you are interested, I just put out a video on kind of the floor that I made. I'll put that link right here. A lot of people have been liking that option, very quick and efficient floor. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Depending on when baby comes, we'll see you soon.